England's Ashes villain Ollie Robinson, the towering paceman once branded public enemy #1 for his foul-mouthed send-off of Usman Khawaja in the 2023 Lord's Carnage, now slinks back to Sydney's sun-baked ovals not as a conquering hero but a grade cricket grunt ready to sweat for his test recall. Picture this: the lanky Sussex slinger who spewed abuse at Australia's opener mid-celebration, drawing gasps from the SCG crowd, and a lifetime of Aussie barbs, now signs with Sydney University for Premier Cricket, a move that screams desperation and defiance as the 2025 Ashes opener looms just weeks away in Perth. Suspended in 2021 for unearthed tweets laced with racism and sexism from his teen years, Robinson's career has teetered like a loose bale in a gale, his pace dipping, his fitness questioned, his spot in Ben Stokes' squad hanging by a frayed thread after a county season haul of 39 wickets that whispers promise but shouts inconsistency. Yet here he is touching down in Sydney with his new bride for a working honeymoon, doubling as a sharpening stone for his rusty blade, aiming to bowl overs in the world's toughest club comp where batsmen sharpen their hooks on fast bowlers' egos. Khawaja's ghost looms large, that expletive-laced tirade at Lord's where Robinson roared "F off you little something something" after trapping him. LBW ignited a firestorm, Ricky Ponting firing back with venom, calling out the bowler's hypocrisy as if Aussies hadn't sledged before, but the shoe on the other foot pinched hard. Now locals licked their lips, grade cricketers plotting send-offs of their own, chants already filtering through socials promising a reception hotter than a Gava heatwave. Robinson shrugs it off in pre-arrival interviews, claiming it's all part of the pantomime, the villain's role he relishes, but beneath the bravado flickers fear. Will this stint heal his back spasms or expose them to Sydney's relentless sun? Teammates like Jofra Archer, I am warily remembering his 2021-22 Ashes fade where a spasm turned him from firebrand to flickering candle. Mark Butcher dubbing it a trust breakdown with management. As he straps on pads for his first net session at Uni's grounds, the air thickens with history. Pietersen plundered runs here in 2002 before Ashes glory, but Robinson's no batter, he's the hunter turned hunted. The first ball he bowls cracks past a stump like a whip, but then the surprise, a local quick whispers to his skipper that's the bloke who abused Utsie, and suddenly the session shifts from practice to payback, eyes narrowing, Sledger's sharpening. Will Robinson's grade grind forge an Ashes beast or fuel the fire for his final fall from grace? The Ern's shadow stretches long, and just as the dust settles on his arrival, a leaked team sheet hints at a recall spot opening up if he survives the Sydney gauntlet. Hit subscribe to Aussie NRL updates now, because this cricket crossover is about to explode. Robinson's boots hit Sydney soil under a November sky pregnant with thunder, the humid haze mirroring the storm brewing in his soul as he laces up for Sydney University's opening grade clash against Randwick Petersham at David Phillips Oval, a ground where legends are made and villains unmade in equal measure. The villain's arc thickens, his 6 feet 5 inches frame uncoiling in the warm-up run-up, that signature head tilt stare down evoking memories of Lord's where his bouncer barrage on Khawaja culminated in the verboten send-off echoing across headlines and dividing fans like a poorly called no-ball. But here's the twist: his new captain Tom Humphreys, a uni lad with a PhD in physics, greets him not with pitchforks but a knowing nod. We've got your back, mate, but earn it, the words laced with the subtle steel of a side that knows Robinson's baggage weighs heavier than his county stats. First over he steams, and the ball leaping from a good length nipping away to kiss the edge of openers bat, a collective inhale from the boundary where expat palms cluster and local diehards plot their verbal volleys. For slips wait like assassins, the cordon tight as his Sussex mates, but the batsman, a burly bricklayer from the burbs, sways, grins and mutters something about English weather ruining your run-up. Laughter ripples and Robinson's cheeks flush, not from effort but the barbs bite. He responds with fire, a Yorker that tails and late smacking into pads plumb, but the umpire's finger stays sheathed. Crowd jeers, you call that pace, Robbo? The old wounds reopen, his 2021 suspension a scarlet letter from tweets that branded him toxic, the ECB's hammer falling swift, yet he rose 72 test wickets at 21 apiece, a redemption arc penned in sweat and spite. Now in grade cricket's coliseum he fields a screamer at gully diving full length to pouch a skier, the roar reluctant but real, his teammates slapping his back harder than before. Yet the cliffhanger coils as rain interrupts play, stranding him on a maiden over batsman retreating to the sheds where whispers turn to wagers. Will the villain bowl a hat-trick or hook himself on a short ball? Post-drink at the clubby he fields questions from journos, pen poised for scandal but surprises with candor. It's honeymoon vibes, boys sharpening the blade for Perth if Stokes rings, and suddenly the room hushes, a text pings his phone from the England physio, back holding steady, keep grinding. Khawaja's silhouette haunts from afar, the opener tweeting cryptic emojis, a bat and a skull, but Robinson retorts in kind, a bowler emoji and fire, the digital duel igniting fan forums into frenzy. As night falls over the harbour bridge he paces his harbourside rental mind, replaying Pietersen's 765-run rampage here, wondering if his story bends toward glory or breaks on the rocks of retribution. Teammates bond over barbecued snags, his off-field charm disarming the doubters, but deep in the quiet hours doubt creeps. Will the Sydney sojourn script his Ashes resurrection or seal his exile in the outer? The first test siren call grows louder and with it the gamble sharpens. Player ratings from Robinson's debut grade Stoush carve a narrative as jagged as his bouncer, the paceman clocking an 8.5 for raw menace, his 5-over spell yielding 2-18, including that near Yorker Yorkie that had the opener hopping like a roux on hot coals, his seam position textbook upright and ominous, evoking his 2023 Ashes peak where he snared 24 scalps before the fade. Deduct a half-point for the wide that sailed like a lost seagull, his radar glitch a nod to those fitness niggles that saw him subbed out mid-test, but his ground fielding a 9 pure athleticism, the diving gully grab replaying on club TikToks, racking views from curious kangaroo scouts. Humphries the skipper rates a solid 7 for tactical news, slotting Robinson at fine leg to stem the flow, but his own 32-run knock middling against spin, earning demerits for a lofted drive caught at deep mid-wicket, the shot screaming over ambition in a chase that fizzled at 180. Randwick's burly opener scrapes a 6.5 gritty as grit his 45 ball 28, absorbing the verbals like a bar towel mop spills, but that edge flirted too close to disaster. His post-match chirp at Robinson a 10 for audacity. You back yet for the earned Pommie? Drawing laughs and lingering tension. On the English front, Stokes' phantom presence hovers at 9 for foresight, dispatching Robinson here, a masterstroke mirroring Bazball's bold ethos, but whispers of squad discord dock him for the Archer injury overlap both quicks, nursing niggles in the nets. Khawaja's off-field influence rates an 8, the opener's subtle shade via social, stoking the fire without lifting a bat. His 2023 retorts to Robinson's sledge, now folklore fuel for this grade grudge match. Surprise surges as umpiring decisions tilt 7.5. The no LBW call, controversial replay booths absent in grade, but fan cams vindicate the House 8's ghost haunting Robinson's dreams. Overall the match a 8 thriller, Randwick edging by 12 runs, Uni's chase crumbling on a last over bouncer that Robinson himself fields off his own